Clear Springs Recreation Area is located in southwest Mississippi in the Homochitto National Forest in Franklin County. I had never been to Clear Springs before, so William and I decided to take a quick trip to check it out and do an overnight hammock camp. The lake is about 100 miles from our house and just a few miles south of Meadville, Mississippi.
I could probably get all the way up here.
All the way up where?
Like on top of these beams.
What do you think?
Cool.
Well, you're ready to go on the other side fishing?
Yeah.
For lunch we had ramen bomb, which is basically a packet of ramen noodles and some tuna. We boiled a couple of cups of water in our pot with a homemade alcohol stove using a couple of ounces of heat that's in the yellow can. It was a very windy day, so we also used windshields. This has become my favorite way to boil water on the trail because it's super cheap. It's easy and light, clean, and doesn't make much noise. Once the water boiled, which took about 6 to 7 minutes, we put the ramen and tuna in a pot, and then we put the pot inside of a cozy which we had made from Reflectix. We let it stand for about 15 minutes and then ate it. It's delicious. What you think, William?
Good.
My Dutchware Chameleon is a double layer hammock, which allows me to put some insulation underneath me. You can sleep directly on a pad in a hammock, but having a sleeping pad between the two layers keeps it from slipping and sliding around. I also added a 40-degree sleeping bag to the bottom layer and basically just stuffed the sleeping pad inside the sleeping bag and then put the two inside the hammock. I think this setup would do fine on a 30-degree night if I had a good 30-degree sleeping bag. After we set up camp, we decided to build a fire so we could keep warm and cook the catfish we caught earlier in Clear Springs Lake. I hadn't brought any seasoning, salt, or pepper, or anything with me, but I did have some beef bouillon powder that I keep in my pack to make broth out of. That made a perfect dry rub for the catfish. While the fire died down for cooking, we sat around and enjoyed the evening. Our campsite was on a high bluff overlooking Richardson Creek, so we decided in the morning to go check it out and do some creek fishing. After we had our supper, we sat around the campfire for a while, just enjoyed the warmth before settling in for the night. It was pretty cold, low, mid-30s. Despite the chilly weather and being in a hammock, we were able to keep warm. We had a pretty good night. I think we got up around 4 a.m. or so. He got a coat out of the car to wrap his feet in. My feet about froze too, but we made it through the night okay. Anyway, I usually sleep really good in my hammock, and last night was no exception. I slept a good solid 9.5 hours. We started a new book study in our adult Sunday school class at New Home called Holiness, Its Nature, Hindrances, Difficulties, and Roots, written by J.C. Ryle. I want to read something from the introduction that has been on my mind. We will be starting on this book Sunday morning, and I read the first chapter before heading out on this camping trip. Can't wait to hear Pastor Ben Rogers' take on it Sunday. I know it will be a tremendous blessing. I have had a deep conviction for many years that practical holiness and entire self-consecration to God are not sufficiently attended to by modern Christians in this country. Politics or controversy or party spirit or worldliness have eaten out the heart of lively piety in too many of us. The subject of personal godliness has fallen sadly in the background. The standard of living has become painfully low in many quarters. The immense importance of adorning the doctrine of God, our Savior, and making it lovely and beautiful by our daily habits and tempers has been far too much overlooked. J.C. Ryle, 1883. Saturday morning, we hiked down the bluff from camp to Richardson Creek. There are several trails at Clear Springs, but we just bailed off the bluff at the camp and headed west until we hit the creek. We did eventually stumble upon the Richardson Creek Trail itself, which is a 10-mile loop through the Homochitto National Forest. We definitely want to come back and backpack it sometime. Richardson Creek is a fairly big creek, and we should definitely be able to get some red bellies or channel caps, maybe even some spotted bass.
good?
Yeah, it's really good.
That's so cool. Where'd you find that? By the creek, by that bridge.